Okay, we're back at the area track meet at Bobby Lackey Stadium, District 3132 6A area track meet, and we are about to run the boys 1600 mean. Tristan Pena from Edinburgh North, Albert Herrera from Wesco East, Javen Cordova from Wesco East, Aldo Nava from Edinburgh North, Orser Rodriguez from Harlingen, Jonathan Herrera from Rivera, Christian Machuca from Rivera, excuse me on that pronunciation, and Ricardo Torres from Los Fresnos. Those are the 8 young men scheduled to run the 1600 meter run. Your fastest 3 are 1, 2, and 3, Tristan Pena, Albert Herrera, and Javen Cordova. I know last week we got a little recognition from Javen's brother Josh up in Alpine, Texas. Josh, if you're listening again or following on 956 or on KWS, we'll see you soon. I know your school year is just about over. And let's watch your little brother, see if we can get him qualified for regionals. He's wearing a number 3 right there in lane 6. That's Javen Cordova. And I know Jake hears some people all over the country and some from Afghanistan that jump on 956 for their athletic coverage, which they do a great job. They're covering baseball, softball. Got the All-Star football game coming up here. I haven't heard an exact date, Jake.
I haven't
Have you
either.
heard a date? Mid-June,
Mid-May.
mid-May usually, following regionals usually, and maybe even following state, which would put you at about maybe May 13th, 14th, somewhere in there. But here we go in the boys 1600 meter run. Looks like the young man from Harlingen, Orso Rodriguez, was out front quickly, but he's falling back in the race. He's currently in about 4th place. Who are the young men that jumped up front, Jake? Are there 2 Rivera guys that 2 of the 3 that finished in the 2 mile?
Are they?
I believe so.
I'm trying to. It's kind of hard to make out the numbers right now.
Jonathan
Number 4,
Herrera and Christian Machuca, 6 and 7. Oh, but that's not. That's
no,
number
that's
4.
Aldo.
Aldo from Edinburgh North. Edinburgh
Yeah,
North
they're
in the
both
race.
2 Edinburgh North.
Okay.
Looks like they're
Well,
gonna,
Tristan Pena, number 1. He's the fastest qualifier.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to control the
Well,
early onset of this race.
We got to see Brownsville Rivera do this in the 2 mile. They kind of set a wall up front, and they weren't allowing anyone by it. And there comes one of the young men from the Rivera that ran in the 2 mile. So in this race, we have 2 from Edinburgh North, 2 from Rivera, 2 from East, 1 from Harlingen, and 1 from Los Fresnos.
Yes.
So some schools are very distance heavy. Is
Yeah.
that?
and right now you see the 2 East runners. They're basically pacing themselves
Right,
now.
they're in good shape right now. Here comes lane 7. There's Christian Machuca from Rivera, who has decided to take the lead. And here comes Harlingen, Orso Rodriguez, who knows I have the 5th fastest time. I need to take this thing out a little bit.
Now you see.
Aldo's coming back through.
Yep.
So there's a little chess game going on.
Far different than the girls one we just
Oh,
watched.
yeah. The girls' race we just ran was a race of 1 and then another race of 7.
Yeah.
This is a race of 8. I'm going to tell you that all 8 runners are within about 6 yards first to last.
And you see some boxing in. It's really difficult right now, especially for Los Fresnos' Ricardo Torres to really get up there because there's a wall of guys in front of you.
Here comes Javen Cordova. He has the fastest time run by a Valley athlete this year. He ran it at the Texas Relays. I believe it was 4:19, Jake. His time at district was 4:33, which I know he was highly disappointed in.
And now we're seeing the stretch. We're seeing the stretch between 1st and 2nd in the pack right now, and then.
Well, if you can run a 4:19, Jake, and the next fastest time is 4:29.
Yeah.
So he may stretch. I'm not sure who that is running with him. Is it the young man from Rivera, Machuca? If it is, he's stretching him along with him. And then we have the 2 Edinburgh Norths.
It's number 7. So
Number 7, that's
Christian Machuca.
Machuca. And then you have Tristan Pena, and you have Aldo. And then you have number 2, you have Albert Herrera, and then there's Harlingen trying to sneak in there, who's currently in 4th place.
And when you're this close, you know, once you hit that wall, and, you know, if you've ever run the 1600 wall, I've never, but I've seen it done many times.
I was an offensive lineman, you know. If it was more than a 40, we thought that was long distance.
I've run the 400, so I can only imagine, you know, what they feel like right now. But you eventually hit some sort of wall. I don't see it for these guys.
Well, look at the space.
Tristan Pena, though.
Tristan's coming out of nowhere, but Javen gave himself a pretty good lead there.
Yes, he did.
But, you know, from the 150 on, we're going to have a race here, Jake. We got Tristan Pena, and we have Javen Cordova.
And as long as he doesn't pull an Oregon right now, no,
he sees
on the
him.
screen. Now he sees it.
He sees him, but you know what? He's making sure.
He gets second.
Because he did not run this race very well in district, and they're shoulder to shoulder at about 4:28. And so you're going to have Javen in the mile, and you're going to have Albert in the half mile. It doesn't look like Albert made it in the mile. I'm sorry, Albert in the 2 mile. But there's going to be double points there for East, but we'll get this on replay. Here comes Tristan Pena, who was the District 31 6'8", district champion, coming off that last curve with Javen Cordova. And they are about 50 meters from the finish line. Small lead opened up by Tristan Pena. Javen's hanging tough. Let me tell you what, it's so good to see young people work hard and get to move on to the next level. And those first 4 runners will be running next week in Alamo Stadium in San Antonio, Texas.